Coche le live est online sous le jeu Genshin Impact. L'ultime commence.
Windblade!
Speed of light! Hey! Got lucky that time.
Disappear!
Children, come, come. You've arrived at just the right moment.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Liyue Harbor already. I could hardly... In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of...
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. I simply won't... When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do. Especially since, I imagine, you... Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket. The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither and thither. I have already found a fleet-footed youngster to prepare what's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glazed lilies thrived most profusely. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies, and if you were lucky enough, you just might find a small patch of shimmer soil there. But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be the way it is today. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will succeed in finding these items.
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help, they must be an Adeptus too.
Yes. I suppose she does count as an Adeptus.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you go out to eat, you could be sitting next to an Adeptus and never even know it.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child here is Yanfei. She's the one helping run some errands for me. Yanfei, I believe you already heard of the Traveler and his traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chising. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it handy. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yanfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire need of legal assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just went back to get married?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked for, except for Smaragdus Jadeite. I couldn't find any at all.
Is that so? But Smaragdus Jadeite is really rather essential. Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue greatly, after all. It is only right that they are duly rewarded.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative means of procurement. Hold on a moment. Let me have a look.
Whoa, that's a really thick book. What kind of things do you write in there?
Commercial consultancy. Or Snezhnaya. Ah, found him. Krustle. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have got... Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual while we're with her.
Can't beat the atmosphere here at Liyue.
Hello, Mr. Krustle. How's business been?
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of Smaragdus Jadeite and had it fashioned into a... Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhiqiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite...
Wait, isn't Smaragdus Jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented out?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false. Yes, these terms are very clear indeed.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
In that case, might you know where Miss Chow lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off.
Toujours moi.
Ouais, toujours toi, ouais. Ils montent sur l'hélicoptère et puis ils mettent mon live en même temps.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there some...
How do you do, Mr. Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins? I can't lend... I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value... There's no way I could come up with... My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but...
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Jichao somehow. True. Though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Jichao looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the Jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the Jadeite is genuine, would there?
Please. Please, Don't trouble yourselves over this. The fact is, I lost the item and I should pay compensation. However much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. It's vital that we keep our word and respect our contracts. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer.
I'll go and inform him of the issue and then negotiate the amount of compensation.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were
Un
perfectly
vert,
smooth
plus
to the
un,
touch,
réveil 20
like the
mètres
finest
36
quality
secondes.
jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch. Finest quality jade. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over to Mr. Crossell's.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how...
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes, and if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that the...
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
My friend,
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be Smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole...
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossell's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right...
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus Jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yunfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take—
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which—
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geo-energy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he had— Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jade. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to— where can we— I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a perfect— If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Oh there. Come and see these precious curios.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to— Oh! It's you, Miss Yen. Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever—
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so—
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
If my eyes don't deceive me. The cross-sections and patterning suggest that these... Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental side a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait!
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yenfei.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singsi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel. Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus Jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pin. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble.
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Jewelry's out of stock. We have some new...
Very much, lady.
Where has Master gone this time?
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
New stock at Sigo Antiques? Bad news for my purse.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Et du coup, je suis obligé de me remettre en mode solo. En espérant que je ne vais pas le faire.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened?
Have no further trouble from that. Has a merchant by the name of
Crossel.
Ah, faut que je parte.
Yeah, the design of the hairpins that he gave. This order was on hold for a very long time.
Doesn't seem like there's any
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm.
Yes, I'm sure of it. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedure. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you...
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done.
Why is everyone's first reaction?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final...
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
You'll have a
Jamie's out of stock, but we have some new items.
Can't beat the atmosphere.
Please take a seat.
I've got a bunch of interesting gadgets. All from my time with the Crux. I should open a store here.
But you didn't let me finish.
You 3 seconds to tell me what you need.
Je trouve déçu. Bah, on va faire une petite pause en attendant. Alors...
They're not here. Let's keep looking.
Well, will you look at... Don't worry, we're not bad guys. You give us some mora, we give you a little info. Everybody's a winner.
Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. Look at her, the white hair, the energy she gives off. I'm telling you, there's something different about her.
So what? She's loaded. How are we ever going to repay those gambling debts if we just let money walk away from us, huh?
I've already told you. I don't need your information. If you still can't grasp that, I'm happy to repeat it in a way that won't be so easy.
Come on, ma'am. You seem like an intelligent lady. I shouldn't. It's not about whether you need the info or not, okay? It's about you taking out your money and handing it over.
I won't...
No more excuses! Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, ordering a table full of food, and only taking a few bites. Then Shinyue Kiosk, then Wanmin Restaurant. Same story each time. You order all the signature dishes, take a few bites, then you're on your way again. How could you afford to be so wasteful if you weren't from a rich family? And since you're so rich, what's the loss to you in giving us a little spare change, huh?
Master warned me not to lay a hand on anyone in Liyue Harbor. But here we are. Perhaps... yes. Let's call it fate.
Boss, I'm telling you, something's not right.
What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll sue her for everything she's worth.
Oh, you again.
Millilith? What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to mind your own business, I swear!
Silence! How dare you threaten innocents of...
No.
Shenhe.
Shenhe?
My name.
Oh, so your name's Shenhe. Paimon's name is... well, Paimon. And this is Paimon's travel buddy.
Oh, I've heard about you two before. Thank you for helping to defuse the situation. I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect smashing his head against the ground a handful of times is all it would have taken to get him to surrender.
You can't do that. That's way too violent. This is Liyue Harbor.
Laws. No. Apparently not.
Really? So how exactly have you...
That would be my stomach growling. I haven't eaten enough.
She's so honest. Wait, that's right. They said you went around all the restaurants ordering this and that and the other, but only took 10. Of course you're still hungry. So, anything in particular you're hungry for?
Chingson, glaze lily, violet grass. These are my usuals. Medicinal herbs?
Kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Boo Boo Pharmacy's not far away. Let's take Shenhe there for a big medicinal meal. After all, you can't work on an empty stomach. Do you think Shenhe might be an Adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor.
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do hope you brought your prescription.
Chingson, glaze lily, and violet grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go. That's everything we have in stock.
Thank you.
She's really eating them!
My hunger has now abated. Thank you. Rather awful. Though they were not completely devoid of sweet fragrance, after consuming a large quantity of them.
Live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
How come you chow down on these and barely touch the restaurant food? If Paimon had enough Mora, Paimon would go to the fanciest restaurant in town and order a whole table of food and eat it all in one go.
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious, but should I return to the mountains, yearning for the food here shall only pose an obstacle to my continued spiritual development. Sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountains. That proves it. Paimon knew she was an adept.
Enough about me. What are your plans from here?
Oh, right! Paimon almost forgot. We came out to take part in the Rebuild the Jade Chamber competition. And now we're probably super behind because we've been held up for so long.
I see. I heard something about the contest when I was passing by.
Yep! You get to ask Ningguang any question you want if you... Were you interested in the contest too, Shenhe?
I came for the rebuilding of the Jade Chamber, but until this point I had no intention of joining a contest. However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to lend you my assistance. Oh, don't worry. I ask for...
Wow! You really don't have to. But having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole lot easier, so...
Then let's not delay. I have a plan.
Great! Paimon bet...
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, this plan can be classified as we simply need to dispose of everyone who is currently ahead of us. Then?
Veto! That is not acceptable! Not by a long shot!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence about conflict and one-upmanship.
Look, we want to win this competition fair and square, okay? Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils. Let's start at the top of the list and work down. So, for Plastrite...
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there. So, it's you.
Baiju? What are you doing out here?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low at the store, so I came out to fetch the ingredients personally.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang need...
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Maybe for its first aid on site? I didn't ask, though. Far be it from me. Oh, and she also borrowed Chi-Chi. Meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now.
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here, though, you seem to know a lot. Have you ever heard of something
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? As far as the records show, virtually all Sunset Vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession of. But the Feiyun Commerce Guild would know far more about this than I do.
Okay then, let's go ask at the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Thanks, Baiju.
You're quite welcome. Good luck to you all. And if there's any... My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, and if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatan?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the Seven Mountain Treatises. The Seven Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come... I suppose that you're about to...
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus Jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business...
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss...
Of course. According to the stipulations of the... Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see...
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence did—
Hard evidence. Something legally binding.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more
Ouais,
belligerent
Joker.
by the second.
You know, you could be right.
Ouais,
Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that— Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall—
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases— Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew—
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why—
Huh? No,
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was— But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation, too. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste? That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out.
Exactly! If they weren't the real
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business—
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite!
There's no need. It's fine. You don't— Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think
Ms. Zerchow.
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus—
What? But all right, then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus Jadeite over to you. I trust—
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever. It'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second, if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents. Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
My friend, you can't beat the atmosphere here in Liyue. Why'd they have to give me that choice? My
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good. Then we have all the materials.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting.
Oh, you. All right.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of a—
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you...
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside Rex Lapis. Indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you a little...
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How...
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment. There we go. This Serenity pot is all... Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Wait a minute, Granny! How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot. She will explain everything you need to know about it.
Je sais pas où j'ai été téléporté.
This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's. There's even... But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with the sword anyway. You do it! Still, why is it so empty here apart from that house? Oh, wait a second. What is that?
Well, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. I am a teapot spirit, and you may call me... hang on a moment. What am I supposed to be... Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me Tubby.
So you're the little helper Madame Ping mentioned?
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, she did summon me here. She told me much about you. You may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this realm to me. Your journey may be far from over, but at least this way you will not want for a comfortable... Though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend to the banal matter of their maintenance. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to help guard their realms and manage their affairs. You may consider me a butler, if you will. Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? Specifically, blueprints with beautiful rooms, chairs, and the like. As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please.
Blueprints? Oh,
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking about. Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare the necessary materials. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blueprint shall appear within this.
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we?
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point in the past. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, even that has its limits.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal realm, not a means of escaping it entirely.
A golden-eyed adeptus? Paimon wonders who could that be?
I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never seen that adeptus again
Tes ennuis, Joker?
Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best you get accustomed to this realm. If there's anything you would like to ask, just look for me.
Joker, tu veux que je le banne temporairement, la personne? Allô, Joker? Il se passe quoi, la Joker, du coup? Ouais, j'avoue que là... Et ça aurait été fait hier, ça, t'as dit? Ouais. Et puis t'as fait des hunters, on a fait des hunters ensemble en plus. Ah, puis quand t'étais sur God, c'est moi j'étais sur mon Genshin Impact quoi. Ouais, bah ouais, mais je savais que je savais que c'était toi. Alors tu m'as dit qu'hier t'étais sur Ghost Recon. Je sais pas ce qu'il faut que je fasse. Une baraque.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Je reviens.
A toast to our success.
Made another handsome sum today.
A toast to our success. Let me tell you how it is. What should I try?
Made another handsome sum today.
Listen, let me tell you a toast to our success.
What should I try this time? Made another handsome sum today.
Bonjour les amis, pour ceux qui me connaissent pas, c'est The Gamer à la place.
A toast to our success.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Thank you for completing today's commissions.
Oh.
Really got a lot going for it.
Bon.
Try something new at the ramen restaurant.
Let's end this now!
Going somewhere? Ha!
Let's end this now!
The perfect distance!
We'll meet again.
Going somewhere? The perfect distance!
To the very...
Going somewhere?
Feel my blade!
The perfect distance!
Finally, Let's end this now! We'll meet again. Let's end this now! We'll meet again.
The perfect distance! Ha!
We'll meet again. The perfect distance! Feel my blade!
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment. LVLP pour Twitch sous-Joker 68, dièse 1 LVL 15. Égal, réveil 1h40, 95 secondes.
With the wind!
Astra Abbot.
Hey, who's that skulking around?
Bon, je reviens, hein, les gars. Pardon, ouais, ça marche.
Salutations. Egibi Mimi X 2527 sur le live. Re tout le monde. Salut Mimix, comment vas-tu? Comment vas-tu? La forme et toi?
Ah bah ça va très très bien. Ah merde, oui. Alors... Ouais, ça marche, je te ferai ça après le live.
Découvre Genshin.
Ouais, on va dire, ouais, je découvre, je débute à peu près
Disappear!
Et toi, ça fait longtemps que tu joues à Genshin Impact, Mimix?
Ça fait un an.
Ça fait un an. Au niveau combien du coup, Mimix? Ah ouais, c'est loin.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Windblade! With the wind!
With sword comes shadow.
Don't get frostbite. What's the hurry? Cool it! Windblade!
Incoming. Speed of light. Nowhere to hide. Incoming.
Let me amuse myself a little.
Speed of light.
Over here!
Windblade!
Let me amuse myself a little. Resistance. No longer.
With the wind!
Et ouais, j'arrive pas à faire mes 3 étoiles ici. Je prends trop de temps. On m'appelle Landé. Allez.
With sword comes shadow. Speed of light.
Wind blade.
As a good knight should.
Ok.
Don't blink.
Pas besoin d'aide.
Allez.
Cut to the chase.
Bah. Bah, faudrait que je prenne moins de temps déjà pour commencer. Donc, je pense que mes versions sont pas assez puissantes.
Speed of light.
Et dans quel donjon?
Pas le plus non.
Don't blink. Incoming. Hey. Nowhere to hide.
Dommage qu'il n'y ait pas une accumulation de tout.
Faut que tu fasses direction élémentaire si tu veux faire plus de dégâts.
Wow.
With sword
Allez.
comes shadow.
Voilà. Faut que je continue à améliorer elle. Et le perso basique. Oh, il va s'arracher mon arme. Oh, l'arme du voisin va s'arracher à force. On croirait en Bretagne là.
T'as qui dans ta box?
Dans ma box? Comment ça dans ma box? Attends.
T'as quel perso si tu préfères?
Bah, j'ai Noël. J'ai le perso basique que tu récupères dès le début du jeu. Et King et Kaya. Sinon, en perso, après, j'ai... Je te le dis, Amber. Jinkyu. Lynette. Fiona. Pedou. Razor. Lisa. Barbara.
Bienvenue
Voilà.
sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Seems all the other nights.
Revue ouvert, plus 1, réveil 2h 5 mètres 13 secondes.
Alors, attends. On a fait là. Et quoi, le temple du faucon? Je refasse pas des trucs que j'ai déjà fait. C'est fait, feu et foudre.
Bonjour, t'as eu un plein à faire.
Ah ouais. Oh là. Je sais pas si c'est faisable celui-là. Et là où j'étais, il y en avait plein à faire. C'était ici.
C'est pas
je crois.
utile ça.
Ouais, c'était là. Merde.
Oui là.
Ah, en plus avec deux personnages d'essai.
Let's
comprennent le fonctionnement des réactions élémentaires.
Nice and spicy.
Fais pas DPS comme ça sinon tu vas juste échouer.
Let the show begin.
Ah là ça fait pas de dégâts ça.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. I'll protect us. Nice and spicy. Race you.
Faut utiliser que leurs compétences.
Let the show be. Boba, get them.
Alterne entre les persos.
Ready, steady, go.
Ok, ouais. Ça me fait pas gagner beaucoup de récompenses. Genre, Kenya. Vu que il faut faire de la fonte.
What's the hurry?
Ok, oui.
Nice and spicy.
Dodge this! Freeze!
Race you.
Dodge this!
Boba, get them.
This moment will be frozen in time. Don't push your luck.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Eat Boba, get them.
Get them. voir un petit peu dans Naruto.
Cool it!
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Freeze! What's the hurry?
Nice and spicy!
Oh, so soft. Cool it! Freeze!
Boba, get them! You're toast!
Yes.
Ça te montre comment fonctionne le jeu.
Ouais, mais du coup, ça me sert pas à grand chose. J'avais à peu près tout ça.
This moment will be
C'est ça des récompenses.
cool it! Freeze!
Tu sais quel perso t'as besoin de monter. Je peux t'aider à les monter.
Bah, vas-y, viens si tu veux.
Tu veux monter qui?
Alors. Je crois que c'est elle quand on s'inquiète.
Come on, let's get moving. We're not frozen in place after all.
Alors. Ouais, elle, c'est pas mal. Et pour ça, je sais où aller. Du moins, je savais.
T'as le niveau pour faire l'élévation. Bienvenue
30.
sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Attends. Ah ouais, niveau 30. C'est toi qui viens de me rejoindre
Cool it!
Ok.
Dodge this.
Waouh. Bon, attends, je vais faire mon équipe. Récupérer mon succès en même temps.
Stray clouds converge.
Seems all the other knights already have their hands full.
Bon, du coup. Alors. C'est un mid. Ça c'est quoi? L'arc enflammé.
Tu veux
Oh,
mon
ça se
petit
tente.
signe?
Ouais. Je vais chercher pour l'améliorer. Ah, le v'là, merci.
C'est où je suis.
J'étais en train de chercher. Attends, j'arrive, ne bouge pas. Je sais que tu vas le casser en deux comptes, donc je suis.
Disappear!
Ah ouais, ça lui fait aucun dégât, ça.
Don't blink! Umbrella force? With sword comes shadow.
Windblade!
Après ça, je vais pouvoir aller en chercher. On peut se faire un arbre congelé aussi, c'est pas mal.
Pour Kaya.
Voilà. Il faudra que j'ai 2-3 persos.
Speed of light. Umbrella warfare, I guess.
Peut-être aller se soigner avant, je sais pas.
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
My time with this Venus taught me that carrying an unreliable weapon is worse than not carrying one at all.
Come on, enough procrastinating. Let's go.
Quel alcoolique.
Great.
Je reconnais le bruit, hein. Donc ça, c'est quelqu'un qui boit. Hein.
If you ever want to trade tactics, I'm always ready.
Après, on peut faire le loup.
Levier ouvert, égal, réveil 2h25 m 57 secondes.
Quite a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to the incoming! Don't blink! You give, you receive.
Ah ouais, c'est trop solide ça pour moi. Attends. Oh. L'autre, il va me tuer, hein.
Incoming!
MDR. J'ai chatouillé le truc. Merci. Bon, attends, on peut sortir du loup. Bah, attends, on revient sur notre point de départ là. Qu'est-ce qu'on a fait? Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Ah ouais, je me suis trompé de chemin.
Quite a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said I'll do it tomorrow.
Don't blink! Feeling lucky! Umbrella warfare, I guess!
Let's go.
Bienvenue sur mon live et profitez à partager un agréable moment.
Ah, hier, j'ai pas eu l'occasion de lui faire beaucoup de dégâts. Hein.
Up to the chase, send from Mosquito, feeling lucky. This one's got your name.
Alors, comme aujourd'hui, j'ai pas eu l'occasion de lui faire beaucoup de dégâts.
On installe la pierre.
Ah ouais, il y a plein de trucs là.
Watch out! Quite a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said I'll do it tomorrow. In adventuring, as in business, you always have to seize the opportunity while it's there.
Ah, pas fini de récupérer un succès. Pardon. Ouais.
Il te reste combien de résine?
Une résine, bah, il m'en reste 91 sur 200. Mais je pense que Mix, je vais faire une pause. Je vais manger, puis je pense que je vais revenir après. Donc je vais faire une pause de live. Si tu veux, follow-toi à ma chaîne. Comme ça, tu revois quand je me reconnecte. Si t'as envie. Du coup, bah, pour ceux qui sont sur mon live, je vous dis à tout à l'heure. Et bon appétit si vous n'avez pas mangé.
Let's go.